Hi there, students.
Hello, students.
Okay, today we're going to look at a set of words. Change,
Switch,
replace,
substitutes.
and swap. So, for you, Lizzie, what does change mean?
Okay, so after some consideration and after some of our discussions, I would like to keep your definition to make something different.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and what's the difference between to change and to change for?
Okay, so I would say it's hard, of course, to find the difference between these two, but to change and change for, maybe change for is nearer to replace or to substitute. You don't make one thing different, but you kind of exchange one thing for something else. You change A for B.
Yeah, you change A for B. You see, I think change is to make something different, to make a situation different. But you could change one thing for another, to interchange them, if you like. So what about to switch?
To switch as a verb.
Yeah.
Because as a noun, it's the thing that you use to turn the light on and off first.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that has something to do with its meaning as a verb in a way. To switch, to change, again, one thing for another, but is it for something with similar conditions?
Okay, let's see. I think you switch. You normally have two choices, one or another. And I think maybe they're comparable things. They do the same job. Whereas I think if you change one thing for another, maybe you can have various items. You could change one set of things for another set of things, or one single thing with another different set of things.
And with what preposition would you use?
Okay, so to change for, to switch A for B. Let's switch these two things, but let's switch A for B. Yeah?
And maybe with?
Okay, to switch with. I could switch A with B. Yeah, I guess you could switch them as well, but I think I like for better.
For a bit better. Yeah.
Okay, what about to replace?
Okay, to replace. So it makes me think about my car, for example. There's a piece there, my front bumper, that I should replace, and it's kind of changing that front bumper for another one that has similar conditions.
Yeah, the similar characteristics.
Yeah, exactly, similar characteristics.
You see, I have an idea with replace is to return something to its former condition. Yeah, with your bumper, maybe you could get one that's made by the company that made the car, or you could get a generic. But they need to be very similar things.
Have to have certain characteristics,
but
to fit or to.
Maybe you could change the bumper for a big piece of wood.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
But would that be replace?
Well,
because the characteristics are very different from the original one. Would it be maybe substitute?
To substitute, I think maybe substitute would be better.
Yeah, that'd be a lot better.
But
what idea do you think there is behind?
Well, I think with substitute, I think you are using something different that serves the same purpose. For example, if you have a recipe and you don't have one of the ingredients, you would substitute one thing for another. You could substitute pepper for chili if you don't have chili powder. Or you could substitute oil for butter.
For example. But there's that idea that maybe you change for something that has a lower quality. Maybe.
Yes, it may have the same quality, but more normally the implication is it's not as good and you'd be better using something else. The recipes, it's best when you use butter, but you could substitute it for something else. Yeah, to substitute, to use one thing in place of another. So what about the word to swap?
To swap. Well, it takes me back to when I was a kid, and maybe during recess, you would exchange one thing for another. Maybe I have a sticker and you have a ball,
And we swap.
and we swap these
Oh.
objects.
So to barter, if you want a more formal word, yeah, to swap one thing for another. Let's see. When you swap two things, are they comparable? Are they similar? Similar. How are they similar, or how are they different?
They might not be similar in characteristics, but they might have a similar value.
Okay, well, value to me and value to you.
Exactly.
So what was it you said? Yeah, you could swap two things that have objective value that is similar.
Maybe two stickers, their objective value are the same, but maybe we can exchange two things that objectively they don't have the same value, but for us they do have the same value. They
Yeah.
are the subjective value.
Yeah, to swap one thing for another. Okay, so let's see. If you changed your clothes, what would that mean?
So I take these clothes off and I put on another set of clothing.
Yeah, maybe because these are dirty, or
Or too informal and I have to dress more formally for work, for example.
okay, yeah, I need to change for work. And if you switched clothes,
Okay, so if I switch clothes, I might have to change my wardrobe. I might have summer clothes and winter's coming, so I switch my summer clothes to my winter clothes in my wardrobe.
yeah, or maybe I need to switch what I'm wearing because I have to go to work. So maybe if you change clothes to a different set, to switch to something that is completely different, change, maybe you put on another comparable set.
Yeah.
Whereas switch, I think we're saying something different.
Yeah.
What about replace clothes?
So replace clothes. All these are so similar. But to replace, maybe I have a jacket in my wardrobe that is destroyed, and I go and I buy another one that is exactly the same.
Okay, yes, so it's broken and you're buying a new one to put and use in its place, but not necessarily changing clothes.
Exactly. It's not very different from the previous one, or it doesn't have to do with what you're
So they're very, very, very similar.
Yeah.
Let's see, to substitute clothes.
To substitute clothes. So with the same idea with the jacket, you would take this broken jacket and substitute it with another one that might be very different from the previous one. It doesn't necessarily have to be exactly the same. Maybe a leather jacket for, I don't know, whatever.
I'm going to substitute these clothes for a black plastic bag.
Exactly.
Okay, and then to swap clothes.
To swap clothes.
Do you want to
So-
swap my T-shirt for your
Exactly.
T-shirt?
Yeah, that would be the idea. No, I don't want to. I like my T-shirts.
Okay, I like swapping clothes with people, but also though I'm going to swap what I'm wearing. I'm going to change it. Yeah, I could also use it like that. Okay, what about languages? To change language? So what would be to change language?
So if I change languages, I might be speaking English and then I start
Y después estás hablando
Después
español.
hablas español, de repente.
To change languages, yeah? Okay, to switch languages.
For me, it's the same idea.
For the same idea. Yeah, I don't know, if I'm speaking one language, it can be difficult for me to switch to another language. Yeah, I think switch is more instantaneous. Yeah, but if I said let's change languages, let's talk in another language. Could you replace a language?
So initially I thought it wouldn't make sense to replace a language, but you were saying before that, for example, modern English replaced old English.
Yeah, new words replace old words. Some words become antiquated and they are replaced by newer phrases. Could you substitute a language?
Yeah, if we think about the definition that we were discussing before, maybe if I'm talking in Italian and there's a certain word that I don't know, I can substitute that word for a word in Spanish or a word in Portuguese. It's not the same language, but it is similar in a way.
And people can understand
People
you.
could maybe understand.
Yeah, or maybe I could substitute some signs or some mime to give my idea. And what about to swap languages?
Swap languages. That's to exchange languages.
Well,
That's similar.
I think it's to change languages. So we're speaking one language, you could swap languages and go into another language. So notice, students, with some of these words, they're very similar in many cases, and in other cases there are little differences.
Nuances to them.
Yeah? Let's see. I think change a light bulb. So this light bulb doesn't work. I need to change it. I'm going to switch this light bulb for a different type of light bulb. I'm going to replace this light bulb with another one that's the same. I'm going to substitute this light bulb for a candle. And I'm going to swap this light bulb. Yeah, I guess I could
Could be.
swap it for another one, but that's comparable as well. Yeah?
Yeah.
So what about formality? Which of these words do you think is the most informal?
To swap, maybe?
Yeah, I would say swap is the most informal, maybe a 4 out of 10 in formality.
And the most formal one?
Poof, I think the others are all pretty neutral.
Is it neutral?
Yeah, let's see. I would use all of these words: change, switch, replace, and substitute in a conversation with my friends. But you could also use it in a formal writing. I think maybe swap is not so good for something formal because it's quite an informal word.
Yeah, I would say
Yeah.
so as well.
And notice as well, these are all regular verbs. Change, changed, switch, switched, replace, replaced, substitute, substituted, and swap, swapped. Yeah? Okay? So, this video where there's two of us is a change. Yeah? We've switched all that. But she's not going to replace me full time on the channel. Yeah? Okay? And she's not my substitute because she's much better than me. It would be the other way around.
Nah.
Yeah?
Come on.
Or maybe we could just swap channels or swap
Could
places.
be, yeah.
So anyway, I think that's probably enough, don't you?
Absolutely.
If you enjoyed the video, give it a rating.
Subscribe to the channel.
And I'll see you soon. Bye
Bye
for
for
now.
now.